together as he and his sidekick, Sam Catchem, fight on the side of law and order. One of the most fabulous characters from the Tracy comic strip makes his first appearance on television. It is none other than Tracy's old friend, B.O. Plenty, who, with his ever-loving wife, Gravel Gertie, becomes involved in a series of misadventures which almost cost him his life. More about Dick. And now, Dick Tracy and B.O. Plenty's Folly.
Morning, Sam.
Morning.
Get that ballistic support yet?
It's right there on your desk.
Good.
Oh, and the bullets match, too.
I thought they would. Well, now we have the proof conclusive. All we have to do is get a confession and we're done. Any calls while I was out?
No, just routine stuff. Oh, yeah. Your old pal B.O. Plenty called. All in a tizzy, as usual.
Good old B.O. Every time he stubs his toe, he calls on me. What did he want this time?
Oh, the fix on a traffic citation. Gravel Gertie got tagged for jaywalking.
Oh, jaywalking? Oh, no. Well, it serves her right. The next time he calls, the answer is no. You know, those two people can get into more trouble accidentally than any...
I'm Dr. Brush from the Museum of Fine Arts. I have an appointment with Mr. Tracy.
Oh, yes. Would you come in?
Thank you.
I'm Dick Tracy, Dr. Brush. Would you like to sit down?
Thank you.
I understand you have a rather serious problem.
Yes, I do, Mr. Tracy. To begin with, I suppose you're aware that several very valuable paintings have mysteriously disappeared from various museums in the last few years.
And have usually been replaced by extremely good reproductions, if I understand it correctly.
Exactly. We discovered the most recent theft just this morning. The famous Ghouls at Play by Hans van Gogh.
Ghouls at Play? But I recall that I saw that in your galleries just a week ago.
The question is, did you see the original or the reproduction? The fact that I detected the substitution this morning doesn't necessarily mean it was stolen last night.
Oh, I know. It could have happened yesterday or a year ago. That'll make it more difficult to find.
Difficult or not, Mr. Tracy, that painting must be returned. I hope you understand.
Of course. I'll do the best I can. In the meantime, if you have any information or clues that'll help us on this job...
We have one suspicion. A very nebulous idea, almost completely without foundation. A man who calls himself Professor Art Pallet.
Why do you suspect this man in particular?
Only because he was involved in a similar scandal some 20 years ago.
Well, that's a good starting point. Professor Art Pallet, huh? All right. We'll look into this right away, Doctor.
You'll notify me the moment you learn anything, of course.
You can count on it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Yes?
this painting, Ghouls at Play, isn't there a superstition about it bringing bad luck to its owner, like certain famous jewels?
And deservedly so, I might add. Before it came into our possession, every person who owned that painting, without exception, met up with some form of tragedy. Usually violent death.
Yes, I seem to recall something about it. See if you can get me an address on Professor Art Pallet.
Well, if it isn't B.O. Plenty back again. Be with you in a minute.
Take your time. I ain't no hurry.
There you are, my friend, all wrapped up nice and tidy like. Next time you need a quick buck, remember, cash is king will always spring.
Yeah, for a gallon of blood.
Okay, B.O., what are you going to pawn this time?
A very rare and valuable fur piece. Here.
Where'd you steal it?
Now, don't get me riled, Mr. King. That coat happens to be the private property of my ever-loving wife, Gravel Gertie.
I don't know. It don't look like much.
What? I'll have you know that's a genuine mink.
Yeah? Well, for your information, that genuine mink spent its entire life in a rabbit hole. How much you want?
$50.
I'll give you 20.
$20 for a magnificent garment like that? It's even got a silk lining.
It had a silk lining. $22.50.
Make it 25.
B.O., because you're an old pal, I'm going to do you a favor. $22.75, and that's the limit. Sign here.
All right. But you're sure playing a dirty trick on Gertie. I was fixing to buy her something real nice for her birthday. You know, a surprise.
Surprise, eh? B.O., because I like you so much, I'm going to help you solve your problem.
Problem? Who's got a problem?
Your problem. Gertie's birthday. Now, look. How about this nice diamond ring? I'll let you have it real cheap.
How cheap?
Well, seeing as it's you can have it for exactly $22.75.
You think you're pretty slick, don't you? But I ain't a-listening. Besides, Gertie don't care for jewelry. It's too gaudy. She likes something with culture in them, like rare old first editions, maybe.
Here you are. Just the thing. Only this ain't no cheap first edition. This is a third edition. 3 times as good.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'd better look around.
Okay. I wouldn't do this for anybody else, understand? But here's a bargain you can't afford to pass up. Now look at that. Did you ever see anything more beautiful?
What is it?
What is it, the man asks. Why, this is a rare treasure. A masterpiece.
I know. But what is it? What does it mean?
That's the wonderful thing about modern art. It means anything you want it to mean. You want a tree? It's a tree. You want a dog? It's a dog. Anything and everything. Just the ticket for Gertie.
Do you really think she'd like it?
Oh, she'll love it. And believe me when I tell you, it breaks my heart to see it go. But anything for a buddy.
Maybe you're right. She gets a kick out of them highfalutin arty gadgets. How much? Don't tell me.
$22.75. Cheap at half the price. And believe me, B.O., Gertie's gonna love you for this.
Yeah. Like I always say, there's just nothing too good for the little woman.
This time, Fingers, my lad, I have surpassed even myself. What do you think of it?
Do I gotta answer that question?
Go ahead. Tell me exactly what you think.
Okay, Professor. You asked for it. It stinks.
Precisely. What you behold is probably the most hideous and no-talent painting ever perpetrated in the name of art. Now, just one last dab in exactly the wrong spot. And voila, another monster has been created. Brutal, isn't it? Just unbelievably bad.
You can say that again. Gee whiz, Professor, do you always have to paint stuff that turns your stomach?
Stupid minds pose stupid questions. For your information, Fingers, I can paint as well, if not better, than almost any artist you can name. But I don't. Instead, I paint subterfuge. Pure subterfuge.
So that's what you call it.
Let me show you. Look. Look at those gruesome blotches hanging there. Can you imagine anyone short of an idiot buying daubs like that?
I wouldn't be found dead with one of them.
No one else would. And there you have my secret. Hidden beneath the loathsome surface of each painting in this room, you will find a priceless masterpiece, purloined from the great art galleries of the world.
You don't say.
On this easel, craftily disguised by my grotesque brushstrokes, stands A Celebrated Boy in Blue by Ronaldo.
No kidding.
Here in hidden bliss hangs The Magnificent Shadow of Nothing by Wilhelm von Obrecht, worth a king's ransom. Here we have... That must be the creep. Let him in. Let me have that. I've been waiting over a year for this moment. When I got this painting, it was the hottest thing in the country. I had to get rid of it. So I hid it away in the one place I was sure they would never look. A pawn shop. And it worked.
Now, gentlemen, under this wrapping paper lies one of the greatest art treasures in the world. Only the favored few have been granted the boon of witnessing the unveiling of a painting valued at $500,000.
$500,000 smackers? And I was looking it around as though it was nothing.
You idiot! Moron! You bumbling, bird-brained, imbecilic fool!
What's the matter, huh? What'd I do, huh? What'd I do?
What did you do? What did you do, you dim-witted goon? You brought back the wrong painting. After the plans I made, the trouble I went to, the money I spent, the blood that's been spilled. Creep, for 2 cents, I'd tear you to bits.
No. Wait a minute, Professor. I don't know one painting from another. I'm colorblind. How did I know the guy was making the switch?
It's my fault. I should have known better. Employ a fool and you become the fool yourself.
Maybe it ain't so bad as it looks, Professor. Maybe the guy in the hawk shop made a mistake. If he did, the painting still ought to be there, shouldn't it?
I'll find out soon enough. And if it's not, I warn you, creep. Your life won't be worth the paper this thing was wrapped in. $500,000 worth of art. One of the greatest works ever executed, and I had it right in my hands. Well, I'll get it back. And heaven help any man who stands in my way.
Don't heave it, honey. Remember your blood pressure.
Don't you honey me, you coat snatcher.
Easy, Tootsie Pie. Easy does it. Is that any way to greet a dutiful spouse who comes home bearing a gift? You didn't think B.O. Plenty would forget his little helpmate on her birthday, did you?
Birthday? Oh, B.O., you shouldn't have done it. Come here, Daddy Dumpling. Where'd you get that horrible-looking thing?
Why, baby, I thought you'd like it.
I said, where did you get it?
Why, Cassius King, he said...
I thought so. That's where you took my fur coat. You hocked it and led him con you into buying that thing.
Sweetheart, where you going?
Back to the gyp artist. I want my fur coat. And you'd better be here when I get back.
It didn't take you long, Sam.
Didn't take me long. Are you kidding? I've been tramping the streets for hours on this case. My feet are killing me.
Get anything on Professor Pallett?
Not a whale of a lot. Eccentric sort of character. Lives in a snazzy joint over on the east side. Apparently loaded with dough. Quite an art collector. Considers himself quite a painter.
I know, I made it a point to see some of this stuff. Pretty bad.
The worst from what I hear. But he apparently thinks it's great. He won't hang a thing in the house but his own junk.
Doesn't that strike you as rather odd, Sam? Here's an obvious connoisseur. Surrounds himself with valuable art treasures, but turns his back on any painting he didn't do himself.
Like I said, the guy's eccentric.
Or very clever. I think we better have a talk with the eminent professor, Sam.
Painting, Bub. Where is it?
We'll be back with Dick Tracy and B.O. Plenty in a few moments. But first...
How about a smoke? No, thank you. I don't smoke. But I'll light it for you. Don't, please.
Smokers, How considerate are you really to those around you? You may not do this, but the effect can be the same with your secondhand smoke.
And now, Dick Tracy and D.O. Plenty's Folly.
Okay, where is it?
Take your hands off me, you big ape. What's the idea? Where's what?
The painting. Where'd you ditch that painting?
Well, you don't want that thing, do you? My old lady took it.
Don't give us that stuff. Where'd you hide that painting?
I tell you, I ain't got it. Gertie took it.
We better get him out of here, Fingers. The professor will know how to make him talk.
Maybe you're right. Come on, you.
Hey, hold on. Where are you taking me?
Tracy, I want action.
Now, Gertie, if you came here about that jaywalking ticket, I can't do anything about it, and I wouldn't if I could.
Who said anything about that? I want something done about this.
What is it?
What about it?
What about it? I'm a tax-paying citizen, and I've been rooked, tooken, fleeced, gypped, to say the least. Look at that blinking thing. Does that look like it's worth a good fur coat to you?
Well, I wouldn't know. What does that have to do with the fur coat?
Plenty. That good-for-nothing, sticky-fingered old man of mine hocked my fur coat to buy this.
Now, look, I'm very busy. If you'll just take this to the pawn shop, wherever B.O. got it, I'm sure they'll give you your money back.
That's just it. I took it back when the joint's closed. I know that cashier's king from way back. He took my fur coat and jumped town, that's what.
I hardly think so. Now, you take it back again. He probably just stepped out for a cup of coffee. Meanwhile, Wait a minute. Let me take another look at that.
What's the matter?
Yeah, what's up, Tracy?
Sam, get Dr. Brush over to the lab right away. I think we stumbled onto something.
Hey, where you going with that? I want my coat.
Later, Gertie, later.
Later? What do I do if winter comes?
Go south. Let me go, ding busted. You ain't got no cause to do this to me. Quiet, Rube.
Here, Fingers, time up.
Reach see if the professor's come back yet.
Where Dick Tracy hears about this?
He ain't gonna hear about it. And I got a little advice for you, squirt. You better open up and spill where you ditched that painting, or the professor ain't gonna like you.
I ain't got it, and I don't know no professors.
Don't worry, you will.
Was that right, Dr. Brush?
Absolutely right, Mr. Tracy. Oh, it was most fortunate you familiarized yourself with the work of Professor Pallet, or you'd probably never have recognized it. There it is. The magnificent Ghouls at Play by Hans van Gogh.
Holy cats. Nothing's worth $500,000.
Much more to some people. What do you think of it?
I liked it better the other way.
I want to thank you, Dr. Brush. You've been a great help.
Would it be superfluous to say the pleasure was all mine?
Well, what's our first move, Tracy? Put the pinch on Pallet?
Not yet, Sam.
How come? He's the guy we want, isn't he?
Well, yes, he has to be. But first we have to find out if he's the one who pawned the painting. We can't arrest him without evidence.
Well, what do we do?
Well, so we'll check with the proprietor of the pawn shop. Let's go. Oh, Dr. Brush, could we drop you off anywhere?
No, thanks. I have my car downstairs.
Oh, good. Thank you again.
It's locked. Maybe Gertie was right. Maybe the guy did blow town.
It's possible, but I doubt it. Well, I was afraid of this. Pallet beat us to it. I guess we'll have to force our way in. Well, it looks like somebody got here ahead of us.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open.
Hey, Tracy!
Find something?
Yeah, down there.
Who are you guys? Cops?
That's right. What happened?
3 torpedoes wrecked the place. I don't get it. I figure it's a heist, but they don't even touch the cash.
I know. They were looking for a painting.
Yeah? How come you know?
That's my job. These men, do you think you'd recognize them again if you saw them?
Sure I would. There was 3 of them. One's a big moose with hands like bananas. The other's a little runt, looks like a weasel.
The third one, what did he look like?
He's a blubbery, fancy-talking bloke with a monocle. He was wearing one of them French beanies, you know, like you see in the French movies.
That's Professor Pallett, there's no doubt about it.
Did you tell him you sold the painting to B.O. Plenty?
How come you know about B.O.?
Never mind that. Did you tell him?
Sure, I told him. You think I want to get bumped off? These guys are playing for keeps.
We haven't got much time, Sam. You get over to B.O.'s place as fast as you can. Maybe you can head him off. I'll go to Pallett's. You stand by here. I want to talk to you later.
Yes,
Professor Pallett?
that's right. Who?
I'm Dick Tracy.
The police? What?
May I come in?
Yes, of course. May I ask the reason for this honor?
I understand you're something of an art collector, Professor.
Oh, I have a certain connoisseur standing, but...
I also understand you're an authority on painting, particularly the works of Hans van Gogh.
Well, I'm afraid you've been grossly misinformed, Mr. Tracy. As you can see, I hang only my own creations. You might call it a vanity of mine. As for Hans van Gogh...
Do you mind if I look them over a bit?
Of course not. But I think if you looked at them from a slight distance...
No, thanks. I get a better perspective close hand. Oh, very unusual technique, Professor. I notice you use a very heavy brush.
Yes, I employ the Van Gogh method. Very concentrated pigmentation.
Comes off very easily, doesn't it? As a matter of fact, I think you've been working on the surface of another painting. I wonder if the possibility could...
Tracy. Catchem calling Tracy. Come in, Tracy.
Tracy to Catchem. Yes, Sam. Did you find B.O.?
Not a sign of him. The joint's a wreck. From the looks of it, he's been kidnapped. Tracy, can you hear me? Come in, Tracy. Tracy, come in.
Sam, get over here to Palace Studio as fast as you can. Hurry.
What's up? What's the shooting?
Tracy, get him out of here.
We ain't got time to take him along.
I said get him out of here. He's the only one who knows where that painting is. So what? So we've lost everything else. So that painting we've got to sell for getaway money.
Help! Mr. Blaney! Help!
There we are. That's all, Professor. All right, Tracy. It's me. I got him.
Good work, Sam.
There's the one you winged.
Well, the creep got away. We'll pick him up later. Okay, lock him up.
Come on, let's go.
You know, B.O., you're going to be able to buy Gravel Gertie a dozen fur coats with the reward you're going to get.
What reward?
Well, for helping us recover a dozen stolen paintings worth a fortune, up in the millions.
Millions? Oh, you're off your rocker, Mr. Bracy. Somebody's kidding you. That picture I bought from Cassius King only cost $22.75.
Okay, B.O., have it your way. Anyhow, you're a hero.
A hero? Wait till Gertie hears this. A hero. Well, now, if I ain't the one.